Alrighty guys, after a few days off, we're back with the SPFL Player of the 21st Century. It was John Mcginn, Super John Mcginn, taking on Rangers legend Barry Ferguson. I expected this to be a close one. I expected this to be very close, but it was even closer than I imagined it would be. But in the end, Barry Ferguson has won with 51% of the vote, just about beating John Mcginn, who got 49% of the vote. There was 193 votes in total, so you do the maths, but it looks like Barry Ferguson has literally won this by 2 or 3 votes. So yeah, very, very close. Could have went either way, but it's went the way of Barry Ferguson. He will move past John Mcginn then into the second round. Well, he'll take on Hibs Martin Boyle. So it was a chance for John Mcginn to make it Hibs versus Hibs in round 2, but he couldn't get past Barry Ferguson, and Barry Ferguson is into the next round. And speaking of who's up next in round 1, it's going to be Rangers versus Celtic, a game with Nacho Novo taking on Alan Thompson. So that one will be in the community section. Make sure you go and vote in the poll, vote for your favourite, and we'll see who advances between Nacho Novo and Alan Thompson. But regarding Barry Ferguson versus John Mcginn, I know this is going to be controversial. I actually think John Mcginn is the better player. I do believe that. However, I would have voted for Barry Ferguson because I believe, based on what he done in Scotland, what he done in the SPFL, which this tournament is being based on, ranked on, rated on, judged on, then he did have a better career than John Mcginn. Longevity-wise, he was better. Now, you can argue it's not fair to judge him on trophies because Barry Ferguson plays for Rangers, who back then were competing for, you know, every single fucking trophy, whereas John Mcginn was playing for a Hibs side that realistically have no chance of winning the league and hadn't won the Scottish Cup in over 100 years until he helped them on their way. So you could say that John Mcginn was, what he done at Hibs, you could argue it was more impressive than winning a bunch of titles at Rangers or Celtic, but I would give it to Barry Ferguson because I just think he's done more in Scottish football, and he is a Rangers legend, and he was a great player as well, you know, really good for Scotland, albeit didn't really have the success that John Mcginn had. He also went to the Premier League. He didn't really have the Premier League success that John Mcginn had, but again, it's based on what they did in Scotland. I think Barry Ferguson has had a better career in Scotland than John Mcginn. So yeah, I have no complaints with Barry Ferguson getting the win. All I could say is I wish both of these guys were around at the same time to play in the Scotland team. Anyway guys, that is it. Make sure you vote for Nacho Novo or Alan Thompson. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, peace.